Hello, this is Cecil Suncure, and we are going to go over the Triple Stalker Opening. I went ahead and made this replay with my friend Lagrangian, who is a higher Master Protoss. I think he's about as good as myself, maybe a little bit better. And he's going to go ahead and 4-gate me while I show you how to do the 3 Stalker Opening for PvP. The 3 Stalker Opening, basically, the idea behind it is use a slight army advantage of 3 Stalkers against 1 Zealot and 1 Stalker to both kill them off and deny Proxy Pylons. Most importantly, I'd say, is to actually kill as many of the opponent's units without losing any as you can, as that'll make you the absolute safest. When I first started doing this build, I actually thought that it was most important to deny Proxy Pylons, but as you see, I end up winning. And I probably would have won even if I didn't kill the Proxy Pylons off, just because I got a higher Stalker count, because I just didn't let any of my die, and I kept picking off his units one by one. The opening starts the same as every other Protoss opening: gateway, pylon, gateway, assimilator, pylon, cybernetics core. Then after this, after you put your cybernetics core, I recommend taking this Vespene geyser right here, because that'll prevent your opponent from stealing your gas. You don't immediately mine from it when it finishes. You actually mine a bit later, and I'll tell you when. But you don't want them to take it. You'd rather sink 75 minerals than have to kill your opponent's Vespene assimilator built on your Vespene. So it's a preventative measure just to make sure your gas doesn't get stolen. Then after you lay down this assimilator, you lay down a gateway. If you feel that your opponent's not going to steal your gas, then you can safely just get the gateway first and then the assimilator, just like I did. I did that because this probe wasn't even in my base yet. And then when the core finishes, you're going to chrono off, warp gate research tech, and go for this stalker. And that is the most important part of this opening. Oh, and you get a pylon while you're making your first stalker. Then when your second gateway finishes, you chrono these 2 out, and now with this first stalker, you're going to be rallying it around, attack move, and you're going to look for Proxy Pylons around your base. If you find one, attack it. Just don't lose your stalker. It's absolutely pivotal with this build. You do not lose any stalkers. The stalker that you first build should immediately leave your base, and you should send another probe on like an attack path around your base to look for Proxy Pylons within your base. Because I've done this build quite a few times, just like meandering around here with my Triple Stalker Opening. You know, I got my 3 Stalkers out here denying stuff. Lo and behold, there's a Proxy Pylon in the back of my base that I completely ignored. And then when this probe is done with its rally around the edges of your base, you'll have enough minerals to get your next gateway. And also, after you order these 2 Stalkers, you're going to throw 3 more probes onto that assimilator. So now, just kind of running around, killing stuff with these 3 Stalkers. You do not want to lose these 3 Stalkers, like I said so many times. After you get this next gateway up, you can order 2 more Stalkers, and you'll have a total of 5 by the time warp gate research finishes. And then, if you don't feel safe, you can go ahead and get your 4th gate. If you know that you killed all the Proxy Pylons and there's no way your opponent can attack you immediately, this 4th gate should absolutely be a Twilight Council, because you're going to be getting a Twilight Council after the 4th gate anyways. Because I think a Twilight Council is the best follow-up to the Triple Stalker Opening. And also, I'm going to talk about it, because that's what I did in the replay. So now you can see I have 8 Stalkers to my opponent's 5. I have a 4 probe lead. I'm getting a Twilight Council, while he is getting his own Twilight Council. So we're pretty much even, except I have more stuff. And that's simply because while he was laying down these pylons up here, I was able to pick stuff off with 3 Stalkers, pick off 1 unit at a time, and it's generally a good idea to run around with 1 Stalker while you're waiting for Blink to finish, just to check the whole area out. It's risky to run around the map with all your Stalkers before Blink finishes, because what if Blink isn't finished for you and the other guy traps you with force fields? It's a good game. So if you have 1 Stalker running around, then it's pretty unlikely it'll get trapped by force fields. It's pretty unlikely it'll die. So now Blink finishes. The rest of this replay is basically me attacking this dude, and that's about it. The reason I'm able to be so aggressive up this ramp is because I knew I had a Stalker lead, When we first started engaging, I think the stalker count was like 13 to 11, or maybe like 14 to 12 or something like that. I had like a 2 or 3 lead. Although a 2 or 3 lead when you both have 15 stalkers isn't a very big deal. However, if you both have 5 and 3 stalkers, then a 2 stalker lead is very significant. And I know that as our stalkers dwindle, and I have more stalkers at the end, eventually my stalker lead is just gonna spiral out of control, and then all of a sudden I'll have like 5 stalkers to 0, and then just win. And you'll see that's what ends up happening in a moment. Actually, not in a moment, in quite a lot. Because it takes me a few times, because he has these zealots doing a lot of DPS, and they actually are just keeping him alive. So eventually I kill almost all his stalkers. Every time I go up he has less and less and less, and I'm replenishing them. Alright, I think this is the killing blow right here, once I get this Guardian Shield up. Yeah, another cool trick when you're a little bit ahead on stalker count is to get a Guardian Shield like this, and then go up the rank. It'll make the longevity of your stalkers a lot better, and now my initial little 3 or so stalker lead has turned into a 5 stalker lead. And a 1 zealot lead, and I ended up winning the game. Alright, so that was basically everything you need to know about the Triple Stalker Opening. Your priorities are: number 1, don't lose any units. Number 2, kill enemy units. Number 3, deny Proxy Pylons. I think a great way to go ahead and execute that is to, whenever you see a Proxy Pylon, chase any units as long as you're within about power range of the pylon. Once you get, say the pylon's right here, say the range is this area, you can kill any of the enemy units in this area, but once they run away, it's not really worth your time to go chasing after them, and you'd rather just kill the pylon. And if you follow that sort of priority schema with the Triple Stalker Opening, you'll probably end up winning quite a few games. You'll be able to tech faster than your opponent, or at the very least, you'll be able to tech safer than your opponent. And it's a great way to get the second assimilator up, all the while being rather safe from a 4-gate as long as you have proper micro. The key is to not lose your stalkers while picking off the opponent's units, picking off the opponent's stalkers, keeping their stalker count lower than yours, and then you can eventually win the game with it, just like I did. And that is the gist of the Triple Stalker Opening. If you liked this video, go ahead and check out the rest of them. I'm sure you'll like them as well. If you would like to see more content in the future, a great way to directly support me is actually to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That will absolutely help me get out more content. Alright, so now I believe I've told you everything you need to know about the Triple Stalker Opening. Oh, one more thing I think I forgot to mention is that your probe, when you have your probe scouting the other dude, go ahead and keep it alive and send it to a little corner of the map. This proxy pylon is actually really helpful for me, just in case for some reason I couldn't get a probe up here. Like maybe my probe was sniped, or I couldn't get a pylon down. I have a backup proxy. It's really important to take your scout probe, keep it from dying, bring it around, and lay a couple of pylons around the map. Those pylons will guaranteed win you some games in the future. Alright, if you like this video, hope you guys check the rest of the other videos that I've made out. I've also written quite a few articles on Team Liquid that you'd probably like. And stay tuned for any other content I release in the near future.